Well, a little better night at the track tonight. We had 3 in. Obviously, we capped off the night with a win with Procrastinator. He raced good. It was getting a little tight halfway down the lane. Thought we were going to have to play hardball. But found a little seam and snuck through. You know, that's what that guy's needed. You know, all those horses tonight just needed covered. I was able to suppress that voice coming out of the gate with J.K. Mickey Mantle. I looked left. I got him out in a good foot, but I looked left, and there was a good 4 or 5 horses busting out of there with me. And, I knew that it was going to be a bit of a torch job getting to the front with him. Then you're going to have to deal with the horses from behind. I had Louis Philippois beside me, who was the favorite, and he wasn't leaving, so it just made sense. I called an audible real quick and ducked in behind him. Now, typical kind of flat Mohawk flow. Whatever. It's just the way it is here. That's the way they race here. It's just, there's no point in making fun of people. I was a winner in the last race, so I guess I shouldn't complain. But, the flow just didn't materialize properly for Louis' horse, who had a bigger kick than obviously J.K. Mickey Mantle. He come 26-4, mile 52 in a piece, but literally was 10th at the 3/4. And it's not lost on me that Bob McClure ducked to the inside and ended up 3rd. But going to the inside with flat cover and a skeptical middle of the field is just, it's never usually the move. It just isn't. And in this case, Bob ended up weaving through and being 3rd, and I ended up 6th or 7th. But a big last quarter, and I'm left asking myself every time we race J.K. Mickey Mantle and Sintra and Atlas Hanover and Dover, is this the time we rest them? We've talked about resting the horses last week, and we had a little bad luck with injuries. So that was all going through my mind heading into the race card tonight. I know when people send me emails all the time, I try to my hardest just to step back and take them the best possible way. And from time to time, we'll get people that'll say, hey, Anthony, with everything on your plate, and I know, and I hope they don't, but I'm sure they don't mean it in a malicious way or a snide way, and I know you don't. I mean, our clients you guys are the best clients in the world. And from time to time, I'll get a thing saying maybe, take a step away from driving when you're under so much stress with staking and buying horses and managing the stable and driving all over the place. And, maybe it's maybe a better idea to take a step away from driving. And obviously, when you first read that, your feelings get hurt a little bit. And I know that nobody meant anything bad by it, but at the same token, I need everybody to understand, I've been driving for a long time. I know where all the winner's circles are. I've been in all of them for the most part. And, when you go to the racetrack, you have to be able to turn the page if you're having a bad week, but just separate everything. Yes, stake payments are over here, buying horses is over here, injuries are over here, all the stuff that is going on in your life, you have to be able to put it away if you're going to be able to drive. And every single driver on that track, especially at a circuit like this, and it is a tough circuit, any one of those drivers that drive there, whether they do really well on a nightly or weekly basis, or they pick their spots, or maybe they struggle a little bit, make no mistake, with a little bit of power, any of those guys can drive anywhere. It's a deep pool. And you have to be able to come to the track and put everything aside and race your horses. Understand what's in front of you, understand what your job is, and execute it. Some do it much better than others. I do an okay job of it. A decent job of it. And for us, the stable, I do a very good job of it. I know that my first and foremost job of the stable, my first hat is not driving. Doesn't need to be. I don't want it to be. But when I'm here to race, I'm here to race. I don't play around. And yes, there'll be times when I'm self-deprecating and I, say to myself, I just drove the horse horrible. And somebody said, well, it gives people reason not to have confidence in you. And I think that's quite the opposite. Maybe somebody feels that way. I've driven horses for 25 years. I've driven for almost every big trainer at any given time, especially in Canada. I've driven all over the place, drove in Europe. And when you make a mistake. I don't need to come off the track after driving Locatelli as poorly as I did and make some bullshit excuse of, he was on a line and I just couldn't get him in gear. I've used them all. Every driver has. But that doesn't not admitting when you make a mistake is not an attribute. And this does happen from once in a while. I'll get a message from somebody, nice people, it's salt of the earth, just say, hey, didn't drive that horse too good tonight, or maybe you should take a couple of weeks off, just something like that. And they don't realize that when you're driving horses, you can't take a couple of weeks off and then just go back at it, right? There's a reason why baseball players have to be playing all the time, basketball players, football players. You don't get to just waltz onto the field whenever you want and pick up, the lines, so to speak. Jump into the first line on a hockey team, or start in a football game. You don't get to do that off the bench, not unless you're super special. And even then, it doesn't usually look that good, right? And I don't care if you're Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods. You got to be on the top of your game. And it's important for people to understand that. I know a procrastinator. And anybody, make no mistake, any of the guys in the driver's room probably could have won with him tonight, but I know what he needed. He needed a trip like James McDonald would give him, and that's exactly how I just drove him. Right? That's what he needed. J.K. Mickey Mantle, yes, I'm an aggressive driver, but I know that he's had a rough go of it, and I know that we're in tough. There's 3 horses in there at least that are every bit as good as him, and if I scream off the car with him, there's going to be pieces of his soul all over the track down the lane. Called an audible because I know the horse. Sintra, not that hard to drive Sintra, just don't beat him up, which I didn't. So I will remain driving the horses I think that I can help. You think I want to, it's 11:47 at night. I would much rather be sitting at home watching TV, watching the end of the football game with my wife, than coming down here to drive. But I owe it to our clients. The same reason I get in this car and drive to Northfield once or twice every single week during the winter. And I drive all over the place. That isn't the job I applied for. This is the company that my wife and I built. I take it extremely seriously because I'll never forget what it was like to drive home from Georgian Downs on a Saturday night, not get any money, and just feel bad, be broke, and be angry. I went from doing a job I thought I loved as a driver for all those years to doing a job I absolutely adore. It doesn't matter whether I drive to Northfield, or my wife and I go to Indiana, or the Poconos and I drive. When things don't go right, when they don't go right, and they don't go good, anybody in the driver's room can do anybody's job. There's going to be nights when James doesn't have a great night, or myself, or anybody else. Anybody can fill in and do a better job, but that's in hindsight. But when it comes to our horses and our stable, I'll always do what I think is right, and I can guarantee you it won't always work out great. That's human nature. And that little, it's not even a rant, that little speech was not meant for any one particular person. It was meant for everybody. You guys know that. Anyway, tonight went good. We've had a horrible week. Sintra was good. He's 4th best. Now he's going to go to the vet on Monday because I want to make sure everything's right with him. It seems like it is, but I want to make sure it is. I told you guys, no stone unturned until we make sure everybody is in absolute perfect working order. Sintra will go to the vet on Monday. My 1% will go with him. I'll talk to Harry about J.K. Mickey Mantle. We can rest him now. We can rest him whenever he would like to. The horse come 26-4, mile 52 tonight. He's not tired. But eventually he will be. I thought we had a good plan even when the race office couldn't fill the classes and we had to move horses all over the place, and it was a complete and utter yard sale all over the place. Everything was everywhere. There was no structure. We had to move Locatelli. We had to, move all these horses around because they couldn't get in. But throughout it all, our core plan still remained. Turn the tired horses out, buy some better horses for the winter time, swap them out in May when they might be getting a little tired. Problem is, we didn't have any horses to buy. Meadowland sale was canceled, and even on Monday, as I said, I'm watching those 2 or 3 horses go through the preferred sale, but we're not going to get close to them. I can't pay what they think they're going to be worth, and they're not worth that in my mind because they're not ready for 75 days. Crantini and those horses will be pretty much ready to go by the time those horses are. So, yeah, I got my concerns. Now, the other side of that coin, obviously, is that they are good horses. So, I very easily put, I had a number of people message me on both sides of the coin of this, saying, no, I want something we can drop in the box. And other people saying, hey, if we can get, like you said, if we can get a top quality horse for pennies on the dollar, well, we should. That's likely not going to happen. If we could get either one of those 2 horses at 70 cents on the dollar for what I believe they're worth, I think they're worth buying. And we'll cross that bridge when it comes to it, but I don't think we're going to get to that bridge. I think they're both going to go way too high. There's a couple other horses maybe worth looking at. Again, it always has to be value. You are never going to see me come to you with a sense of desperation. Oh, we have to get horses, no matter what. No, we don't. We got good horses. We just like more of them. It has to be value. It has to be value. So I found a way to talk about 3 horses, and I didn't even talk about all 3 of them perfectly yet. 11 minutes and 30 seconds. So getting to the races tonight, obviously, I thought J.K. Mickey Mantle raced well. His line looks good. Obviously, we got the 9-hole. There's not much you can do, right? Bad flow. He can only go so fast on the end of the mile. I thought the horse raced well. Paced 52 and a piece, 26 and 4 in the end of it. Fastest last quarter of his life, I suspect. And one of the better miles. So good for him. Horse race good. I'm not concerned about him. He felt smoother tonight than I remember him optically. Now, I haven't watched the race, but I know when I saw him with James, he looked a little shuffly, a little rickety. He didn't feel that way to me. He felt great tonight. And then Sinter did all he could. Beat, a quarter of a length for second in the open. I didn't see his line, but I know it was a very good line. 27 flat, 26 and 4, something on the end of it. It had to be. Mile and 51 and 1, 51 flat. The horse was great. He is going to the vet Monday. I don't particularly believe there's anything. There may be some maintenance to do on a 10-year-old. Maybe a couple of ankles that are bothering him, or hocks. I don't know. Maybe there's nothing. But we're going to get him looked at on Monday. He seemed fine to me tonight. And then Procrastinator just so badly needed that trip in his life. Right? This is a horse I told you guys would suit Harry Poulton well. As we stop with him at the end of his in July of his 3-year-old season. We wanted him ready for the winter. I think Harry drug his feet pretty good getting him back to the races, but he wanted to have him right when he got him here. And he did. The horse was great. Qualifier was okay. Second qualifier was a little bit better. Tonight was a great race for him and a huge springboard forward. I think if we continue to race this horse like this, and I know James will, I think you'll be sitting on this horse already pays 51. Has all the breeding in the world. We put and you guys deserve it. My partners on Procrastinator, you deserve everything because you had the patience just to wait. And I know one of them, Mo, has been there a very long time with us. You deserve it. It's going to be a nice horse for us all the way through the spring into the summer, and who knows what he'll become afterwards. Procrastinator has arrived now. This has been a long time waiting for this horse to show up, and he feels like this is a much more prepared, focused, and what appears to be, will be a consistent horse moving forward. Great race from him tonight. We needed that. Not only did Mo need that, congratulations, everybody that owned Procrastinator, but we needed that after the week we had. Hopefully it's not over, or it is going to be over for us, but hopefully Sunday bears some fruit in the States. Hopefully Monday with Looks Like Money. We have a little bit of luck there with the couple of horses in Looks Like Money and Stay Close. On Monday, we'll see how that comes about. But for now, just going to soak it all up. Going to go home. I got 2 emails to write. Going to go home, write those 2 emails. Maybe watch a tiny bit of TV and head off to bed. Nothing to do tomorrow. I'm going to watch Adeline go to dance, watch some football with my wife, and just relax. So, not the week we wanted. Bit of a week from hell for us. But you know what? It started okay. It's going to finish okay. A few little bumps along the way, but we got it done. Procrastinator a winner tonight in his first start of 2023. So I'll let you guys go. Soak it all up too. For you that are NFL fans, take it easy tomorrow. Watch the games. Should be a lot of fun. Take care, everybody.